Well, a lot of you guys are gonna look at this thing and think it's hopeless, and you know, the grim reality is this bus or this truck, it just was really neglected for a long time. And let's take a look at what we have here. And I know there's a lot of people watching some of the stuff on this, a lot of new subscribers coming in, and I've gotten a lot of different comments. Some people say, why are you saving that? There's no reason. That thing's junk. It's rusty. It's still rusted. It's bad. And I've got other questions that said, oh, that's not rare, you know. And there's several of those around. And let me tell you a little bit more about this truck. This is the oldest one in existence that's known of. It's a 62, and it is a Volkswagen model. A lot of people think, you know, it was just something that the bucket truck was put on it by some company, but they were a SO model, just like the Westphalia. This Westphalia was a SO model. That was a SO23 Westphalia. They have SO42s, they have SO34s. There's a whole bunch of different models, and because they were a Volkswagen M code on the M code plate as an SO, this one was an SO. I believe it's an so10. Pretty sure, I haven't looked specifically. So10, I think, was the smaller height bucket truck. They had a couple different ones. You can look those up online. It's like the fire truck or the ladder truck. Those were SO models too, and they're very rare. So this one, being the oldest one, is probably one of the rarest ones out there. So should we save it? You know, people say, well, I should just junk it, it's rusty. The thing is, it has to be saved. Something like this is a huge part of history, and it needs to be saved because of that reason, if that reason alone. And it's pretty neat. You know, it's something that when these things work, they are a pretty neat thing. Now, let's take a look at some of the things, the condition of it. Some people saw, you know, a glimpse of that in some of the videos, so I thought I'd do a little more detail. This is pretty rusted out. Let's look at that. I mean, this stuff's rusted out. The frame of this thing's rusted. There's vents rusted out. I mean, the floors. Look at that. I mean, that's so rusty right there. The whole front. All these support rails are rusted out. The frame is rusted out. I mean, there's not a lot of metal left, but a lot of it can be purchased. That is the clincher. I actually found that frame rail piece that's rusted. That's the whole frame there, if you look at it. Okay, and these are supports that are welded underneath. The trickiest part about this is separating the single cab from the unit. I mean, everything unbolts right here. You see this unbolts, but because they welded that bar underneath this frame piece, the one that goes underneath, what's supposed to happen, you're supposed to take off these things here, come off, and then this part here unbolts all the way around. So it unbolts there. You can see there's one bolt missing there. I'm not sure why these are in there, what they're holding, but there's those there, clamp there, and then this whole section of it unbolts and comes off. And you know, theoretically I could get another single cab and put it underneath it, but the numbers on it are matching to have this unit put on it. So it does have the Encode plate still on it, so that match up to the numbers that that unit that goes on it is. I forget what it is. Let me just think about it for a second. I forget, it's something a 60. They have a 60 and an 80. I forget the number that goes before that, letters before that. Well, you know, basically, let's look at some of the stuff here. The doors are totally not really savable. I think somebody will say all of it isn't savable, but it's not like the window frames. The upper window frames might be okay. I could probably save those. There's a lot of, you know, the headlight buckets. Probably can save those. You know, the original lenses that are in there are very cool. The front bumper, I'm sure I could save that. The rear bumper's in good shape. It does have some rust along the bottom. I could fix that. But most of this metal here in the back, you know, if you look here, this is all rotten above. You know, all this stuff is rotten. And that, you know, even the frame here is pretty, this frame for this thing is rusty, but it actually still has, you know, a lot of metal. It's just very pitted. It could be saved for sure. Some of the stuff that's kind of, you know, that kind of sucks, that's bad. I don't know if the engine turns over. We're going to be doing a reality will it run on this thing. I'm just going to start it. I don't even know if it's going to run or not going to run. So that'll be kind of fun to find out. Still has the original exhaust still on it. 40 horse, 6 volt. Yeah, 6 volt with all this stuff. I don't have one of these. I'm missing one. I think it's this one that goes over this for these solenoids here. I don't know. Somebody said that some of the stuff's available. If you do know if stuff is available, and you do know of a place, if you're in Belgium, Germany, where I can get parts, I'm gonna need these. Look, these are completely just rusted completely out. I mean, could probably take it apart, you know, and clean them up and figure out how they're made, and maybe even repair them if I have to, or find something that bolts on there that does the same thing. I don't know, tell me what you think on that. There's a lever that's supposed to go on here, a little arm that's missing. A friend of mine has one. He has another bucket truck like this, but his is an 80, and it has a lot of the same parts on it, so I can look at them, the ones that are missing, broken. The inside is so weird, you know, it's dirty, but it's fairly solid. I mean, I don't know what's under the seat stands right here. There's a seat stand mat there, isn't it? No, that's just paint. Yeah, just paint. That's rusty. But this part isn't that terribly that bad. In the middle, it's not that bad, but underneath is where the rust is mostly. And it's weird, you'd think that these would be completely holes right here, but they're not. So who knows? I mean, the floor almost maybe could be saved. The outer floor, the inner floor, maybe the centers could be saved. I don't know. Once I get it up, the hardest part, like I said, is going to be taking the apparatus off of the rest of it, with either I have to cut those bars off. I think I'll have to go into there with the plasma cutter and cut them off and hope that it doesn't collapse while I'm doing that, because I did weld that frame piece. I welded it in the back, so I've welded it in the back. I'll show you what I did. We welded it temporarily back there, put a cross bracing piece in there, and then it's welded to the front beam in the front, if you can see that. I don't know, maybe let's zoom in if you guys can see. So it's welded there, but it's also welded in the middle. I think it'll hold together enough. Once I cut loose these, I don't think they're really doing that much at this point, because I was looking here and this top piece, this one is fairly solid. That frame that goes around, except for the front. I mean, the cab, you know, where there's a million welds, everything's this is a unibody car. People think a frame, they go, oh, that's the frame is what holds everything. No, the frame is kind of like a faux frame, and it kind of doesn't do that much. Frames, you know, it's part of the structure, but everything is part of the structure. So to separate it, it's going to take a little bit more work there. You know, this stuff like this is original, so this is kind of unique. I did find some corners at Pomona Swap Meet before COVID-19, so I was able to get those. This is original though. What they did is they took the original taillight hole out, they put a blank in it. Yeah, it's rusty. They put a blank in it, they put the rubber around it like that, and they put another taillight over here. And that's original. That's the way they made them. And it's a 62 Euro. So Euro 62 had the big taillights that are totally different in the back, and it had bullets in the front. But the engine, the thing that's really cool is the engine is fairly complete. I think it is pretty rusty, and I'd be really surprised if this engine turns over. Yeah, it runs, so we'll find out. We'll just do a little video segment on that. I kind of want to have to figure out, I think I need to put this, the basket, if you see here, the basket, if you see there, that's the perch, okay, and they unbolted it so that we could transport it from, this came from Belgium and went to a friend of mine's shop, and then he ended up finding another bucket truck that he wanted and decided he wanted to sell this one. So anyway, but that perch goes up on top, so it sits really high up in the air. So that was so they could get it in a container. They had to take that off that and put it down. So that's kind of the story on that. But I'm almost thinking about putting that back up on there. Of course, how heavy do you think that is? It's pretty heavy. I bet it's, I don't know, I'm thinking at least 400 pounds or more, maybe 600. It's got a little hard to lift up and put on there. It's just that ram alone, I bet that's 100 pounds. And then that basket's pretty heavy itself. It's very thick fiberglass. It's meant for 2 men. It says right on it. Let's look at it. Show you. Whatever that says in German. Yeah, 2 Personen. Personen. I don't know how you say that in German. But it's weird. It got a little outlet thing right there. I don't know what that is. It's weird. What do you guys think? I don't know. It doesn't look like it's like some sort of a. I go in there and flip it up, but it's kind of full of water. Got a lot of rain lately. So I was thinking I had to put that thing back up on there. So it's kind of a delay for me. I don't think I want to try it by myself because one other person here in case it gets out of control. I could probably use one of my bucket trucks and grab it and lift it up and set it on there. And I don't think I'll need to take it back off of there. So that's why I was thinking about putting it back on. Now tell me what you guys think on that. I think if I put it back up there, then I could you know, have this thing up high enough to where I could actually work on the engine, because right now it's a head bumper. So I want to move it back up and put it up there, and then this should perch, I don't know, somewhere right in here, but maybe it stays up a little higher, I'm not sure. Yeah, let's look. Maybe it does. Maybe it perches right there. Yeah, it looks like it still perches in the same place, so it wouldn't really help me much, would it? Or I could take it off and move it. Then now I have to put it somewhere. It's all decisions, you know. It's all, the hardest part is right trying to figure out. Like I said, I like to do a will it run. Well, it's going to come. We just got to figure out. I got to figure out where I'm going to do it, and then may have to wait for Chris to come back to work to help me move that off of here. So yeah, that's it. But the reason we're saving it is because it is the oldest one, and it, you know, I still have a lot of decisions to make. I don't know, you know, there's a company that makes bodies for these now, and maybe I could strike a deal with them to make me the back half, because the cab, maybe I could save some of that, so I have some original stuff, because I think most of the material in the back's gonna have to go. That's one idea. Any ideas? Might help. I don't know. Either that or I'm just going to piece it together. I'm not sure. I know I can make it work either way. It's just how much time and money, you know, that's all what it takes. It's all more time and more money if you do, I don't know, the parts. So I'm going to try and see if I can get some kind of deal from some of the parts companies to help me out with some of that stuff. Maybe I'll get some sponsorships for that, you know, because it's just going to be so expensive. I realize that, you know, the back half to buy all the parts is, oh, I don't know, it's over 10,000, I'm pretty sure. So that'd be a lot. And then the doors, you know, that's $1,400 for, well, I can get the ones for Gerson. I can get the door skins separate, and then I can buy the doors for like $550, I think. That's what he wants. So $550 a piece. Yeah, because there's no way I can save. The inner frames are shot, you know. Let's look at them. You know, the inner frames. This is a weird mirror. Look at that. That's different. There's, and that's factory. So, and then we were looking at it. It's got, you know, the close and far away glass on it. So kind of neat. I think that's what that is. But if you look here, the frame even itself is so bad. There's no saving that. You know, it's just. The only good part that's any good is, you know, maybe what, this part right here, the top. I don't know, even that's pretty bad. So I bet you anything, I'll take this off, and that's going to be rusted through on the top too. So, and all the bolts are all rusted out where these go in. So I'd say the whole frame's done. There's no way to save it. But yeah, you can get those from Classic Fab. Has the doors, you know, in parts. They sell the skin and they sell the frame, and the reason they do that is because they don't have to inventory all that. So it makes sense, you know, that way they can sell them for a little less. There's other places that make the whole door for 800 bucks, so brand new. And then used ones, you know, because it's a, this year where it has, the 62 had this handle where it's recessed, very hard to find used doors for that year. So anyway, a lot of guys just convert them to the other sides. Anyway, all right, well, I'm going to talk to you guys in the next video. It's just a little walk around there, and that's just what I want to tell you guys about, you know, what I'm finding, and see what you guys think. And I know a lot of people wanted to see a little bit more on this, so I thought I'd just do a quick video and walk around it. It's not a quick video, but kind of more of a walk and talk thing. This thing is super bad. Look at that. Wow. This makes rusty CTs, man, look like it's cherry. Talk to you in the next one. Please like, share, and subscribe.